what is it that you think that people can just do more of to support the young talent and discover the young talent that is out there, and to just remain consistent in that?
I was going to.
Sorry, Maria. I was just going to say, I think it is about just giving people a chance, you know, opening up those, making sure that you're connecting with charities and with organisations like us that, you know, really getting to the root of the problem, can source the talent. And it's just about companies, you know, making it available for us, giving us work experience. People can prove themselves, you know, and paid internships as well, because you can't, if you're from a certain background, you wouldn't have the money to be in doing an apprenticeship, or, you know, not apprenticeship, or an internship that's not paid properly, or an apprenticeship that's not paid properly. So it's just about companies stepping up and giving the opportunities to the young people. I can see loads of people raise their hands now. So
Yeah, please do just chime in, and then we're going to open it up to the participants as well, so that, you know, the crowd can get involved as well.
Yeah, I was just going to say, just echoing everything that Sarah's saying, I think it's looking at your organisation and going, right, if you were a Black or brown person or a young person, would you work for you? Because it's not a question of, you know, oh yeah, look, we've got this job, just fill it. People are very savvy now, and they're very much like, why would I put myself through that? I can, you know, you can throw money at me potentially, or, you know, I might get in through an internship, but why would I stay? It's looking at that, and it's supporting charities, it's supporting people, and it's about looking longer term. And it's not just that too. You've got clients, you've got people looking at your organization who aren't even young people, going, you just look the same, you look simple. And so it's a benefit of all round. Just apply yourself, support charities, support initiatives like us, you know, and then, you know, literally it's empathy. And, you know, I'm going to swear a bit, and really don't be a dick. That's my line.
Absolutely. Marcus, I know you had your hand up.
Yeah, just a couple of things really. I think sometimes it's about telling people directly that you want them, that you want to engage with them. As an organisation anywhere, if you're headhunting, go out and say, because people do deselect. And actually, if you make that initial approach and go, yes, I want to speak to you, I want to talk to you. And the other thing with that is also, you know, when you're doing outreach to people, when you're making outreach to schools and everything else, have something for those people to immediately act on. The problem is too often people do outreach, they engage things, but you can then apply for a job role 6 months down the line. Well, I need some money now, so I will have forgotten about what you've talked to me about then. So just have something physically there. The other thing that I will also say just about inclusion, inclusion is great and you need to always work on it, but actually without diversity, it's a big challenge. There is no point asking me about whether I feel included in an organisation, because generally that organisation was made to include me, because it was made by people that look like me and everything else. And that is always a challenge with inclusion for things that are quite homogenous. And until you have that representation, there's a real challenge to get that inclusion. So if you remember that you can do one process of inclusion, but you need to keep on revisiting it as your organisation becomes broader and more diverse, because you may have got it right for the group of people that you have there now, but you don't necessarily have it right for the people that you have in a year's time, in 2 years' time. And that's my piece.
Yeah, amazing. Thank you so much. Ali?
Thanks. Just in terms of, we do two things that will give you some data around what young people want. One, we did as part of our proprietary survey, a survey of all our grads across the industry about what they look for in employers, and also things around working in the office as well. So I'm happy to share that. Secondly, if you're a very undiverse and unrepresentative organisation, which are due to the legacy, most people are, there's nothing wrong with that, we're all moving forward, aren't we? We do reverse mentoring, where we will match your senior team with young people from our pools of talent, but not from your company, because sometimes the young person in your company is never going to tell you the truth. They're going to tell you what's going to get them the best survival, basically. That's, you know, a fact about it. And you can actually, you know, we do sessions where people share their experience of getting in, getting on, and thriving as well, which means you can kind of short circuit the lack of voices by listening to voices from outside, while you build on developing your own voices. Obviously, it's not a get out clause. Yeah, cool. But that's it. But thanks for that.
Thank you. Thank you, Ellie. And yeah, I think some people are interested in that research. Brandon?
Yes. On the topic of what Marcus was saying, on the topic of inclusion and diversification, I think that one thing interviewers don't tend to realize, and the thing is, you won't realize it because there's an unconscious bias sometimes when they're interviewing persons from certain demographics. And the thing is, there's actually a statistic on it. You're 75% less likely to get a job in the US if you have an accent, especially if you have an Asian accent. So the thing is, one thing I would say is that it starts at the school system. And where it starts at the school system, that expands into broadening the qualification pool. So the thing is, employers don't have a choice but to look at these wide, this wide pool of people from multiple backgrounds, to pick from. And it is with organizations like DigiLearning, Lollipop Mentoring, that include all of these demographics to be able to show the future, that there's a bright future for all demographics on the earth.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. Lisa?
We have a committee of our youth who work together, and actually they've saved a number of brands a lot of money through using, we get them all together, they deliver on a brief, and they did a pitch to NatWest, and it got escalated to the CMO, and they started listening because they were creating a product for young people and they hadn't spoken to the young people. So guys, speak to the young people, speak to our organisations, really get involved. And you know what's a real travesty is the music industry, the sports industry. They have so many routes to market. They have scouts that go out there looking for people. Well, the digital industry and the tech industries don't. So we are your scouts. And so also stop trying to do it internally, because as Ali said, it takes so much work. We are relentless. I know how Ali feels, because we're relentless trying to find these young people and convince them to come into industry. Come to us, we can do the work, and you can look shiny still and tick the box, okay? But seriously, yeah, it's the way forward. Work with us.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we have a structure and infrastructure the way in which we work called inclusion by design. And that just means that we always start at the heart of the audience, and whatever the brief is doing, whatever the project's on, we go out and talk to people, but they are counseled throughout that process, and they are also working on that project. So if we're going to talk to young Muslim women, for example, we are going out to recruit young Muslim women to work on the project. They will be throughout a sounding board, and that is just the process. And I think it's so important that organizations are privy to that, and they're at the forefront of that, because a lot of the time you are saving them money. And you know what I mean? And cancel culture is rife right now, and no one wants to be at the heart of cancel culture. No one. And I think that is also important, because everyone wants to be culturally relevant, but you want to be culturally relevant for the right thing. And I think that's also really important. So thank you so much for that. Do we have any questions from the panel? I'm conscious that we actually only have about 5 more minutes, and I really want everyone as well in the chat, share your LinkedIn, share your Instagram, anything that you want people to follow, etc. Plug yourselves right now. That'd be a great time to do that. But if we do have any questions from the chat, then that you just heard, please do let me know. And I think another thing I was going to say as well is my biggest frustration with that industry, particularly the advertising industry, is that they look at D&I as a separate thing. It's like we exist in the creative space, so we create great creative work, and they have all these awards, and they shout out everything that they've done, which is great. But then D&I comes after that. So then they start thinking about D&I in this very strange way, whereby it's like we have a D&I squad, and then we have our workplace and our way of working. And it's really weird to me, because I'm like, the D&I squad should be embedded into the work that you do. You should just be diverse. You should be talking about inclusivity. Your culture should be built off the back of difference. That is what is important. And I think a lot of the time when organizations are thinking about D&I, they're also thinking about it from a place of other. So they expect the Black and brown people to do the work, or they expect the women to start the women act organize. And yes, of course, those people should be at the forefront of those things. But actually, a lot of the time, you're preaching to the converted. Those people already know that these things should exist. It's the people and the stakeholders at the top that are uneducated, most likely to be ignorant as well about those things that are happening. And they need to be in those rooms, listening to those people, listening to those things that are happening, and be privy to those challenges that people are coming up against, and then being on board, because a lot of the time you can't get sign off until those people are on board. So I think it's just really, really important that we are also privy to all of that, like, getting people on board. D&I shouldn't be something that you have to sell in. You should just have difference in your company. Do you know what I mean? You should just be doing things that are inclusive of all audiences. And I think when we're talking about support groups, which I think is super important, like what the young people spoke about, you should be empowering them, giving them chances, encouraging them, because they are the future. You need to future-proof your organization. Otherwise, your organization will die. And I think a lot of the traditional ways of working, it's just not working anymore. And we've seen that. COVID showed us that. A lot of people said they would never be remote. They could never do that. And look, we all had to be remote by force, and they had to adapt. So adaptability is absolutely possible. So I just think there's no excuse. So thank you so much to our panel, Ali, Maria, Lisa and Sarah, Marcus. Thank you so much for your presentations, for all your insight, all the work that you're doing in that industry. We really appreciate you. Brandon, Faith, Elia, Pressure, Basha, you guys are incredible. Keep doing what you're doing. Shout out to all the things that you're a part of and building. And yeah, we just really appreciate you as an industry and as a people. I think Brandon, Chloe has shared a comment from a gentleman called Adam, who's just basically just bigging you up, just bigging you up. So yeah, you're amazing. So keep up all the good work. Thank you, Jenna. Thank you, Chloe. Thank you, AOP, for an incredible evening, for incredible morning of discussion. And I'm always up for a challenge. So I like healthy debate. So if there is anyone out there that you've heard something and you're like, oh, I don't really quite understand that, or I think this is cool, but actually have you ever thought about it this way, then I'm always up for those kind of discussions, because I think it's important to cross challenge each other and just intersect and collaborate and all those things, because it's really important. Everyone, I'm going to connect with you all, so please feel free to also add me, Shanice Mears, on LinkedIn. I mean, my LinkedIn is also, I rant a lot. So if anyone doesn't mind seeing those rants, please do, then yes, also add me.
I'm a ranter.
Yeah, then please, I'll put it here. And also my company is The Elephant Room. Please check out the work that we do. We have an incredible live campaign at the moment with John Boyega and Converse, and that includes some 5 incredible filmmakers and directors that are doing some incredible stuff. So please go and check that out. Jenna and Chloe, I don't know if you've got any closing words, but that's it from me.
Yes, I just thought I'd pop up to say thank you all so very much. It's been an absolutely amazing discussion, and so great to hear about all the amazing work you're doing. And yes, let's still keep in touch. And I'm sure this is a conversation that will continue into the new year. And for our attendees as well, thank you for joining, and we will be back with Crunch next year, probably the first one around March time, dates to be released shortly. And we are looking to hopefully be back in person. So look forward to that and seeing you all then. Thanks so much again, all of you, and Shani for moderating so brilliantly. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you all, everyone. Great seeing you all.
Thanks,
Bye.
everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye now.
Bye.